Hallo und herzlich willkommen direkt am Anschluss zu unserer letzten Folge auf der Sunless Sea. Ich hoffe, ihr habt die letzte Runde noch ordentlich mitgesehen, denn das würde erklären, warum wir auf 31 Hull sitzen und momentan vielleicht hier oder da kleinere Probleme haben. Was wir aber jetzt dringend machen wollen, ist diese nette Option anklicken. Submariner, the fierce philanthropist. Her house is built on the tall, Cretaceous London style. In the tall Cretaceous London style. Red brick and white plaster, decorative iron railings, painted black. Its mistress is the subject of intense colonial gossip. Independently wealthy, industrious daughter, a widow, unwelcome in London. What then does she want with you? An invitation arrives as soon as you docked. We will accept her invitation. It wouldn't hurt to have the backing of a wealthy benefactor. Yes, it indeed would not. You accepted a sizable gathering, but it's just you here and a decanter of admirable sherry. She's not a small woman, and comfortably occupies your armchair. She wears sensible satins and sensible shoes. Her hair is incomparably curled. I've heard a number of shocking things about you, all of which I consider thoroughly promising. Her accent has a hint of Midlands melancholy to it. She must have spent much of her life on the surface. For a time she asks questions about your travels and listens avidly to your answers. Then she gets down to business. A question. She tops up her sherry. Some years ago, the nations of the Neve struck an agreement to abandon their research into submarine travel and leave the sea depths untouched. Ah, the agreement about nothing of consequence. The sailors mutter about it when listening to Admiralty's follies. You nod. She raises her glass to her lips. And what is your opinion on this agreement? She asks. Scoff about it. It's a nonsense. Nowhere should be forbidden to a capable explorer. This will begin the quest to acquire the submarine. So we will do this. We could also approve of it. It's probably for the best. The sea's surface is bad enough. God knows what unpleasantness lies below. But we will sail far down below. And your friend, her smile is conspirational. Then we can help each other. I'm prepared to finance, in a large part, improvements to a ship that will make it capable of submarine travel. The Admiralty and other powers disapprove of such innovation. Therefore, we will need to be discreet. I have procedure experts, laborers, and a workshop. They are well paid and loyal. Here's the address. Meet us there, and we can begin our work. The fierce philanthropist will help you convert your ship into a submarine at her hidden workshop. The hidden workshop. On the shore of a gloomy inlet stands a rickety factory. Once, and supposedly still, it was committed to the cutting and polishing of sapphires. Now it is the place where the fierce philanthropist houses her intrepid staff of engineers. The engineers, man and woman, who convert your ship into a submarine. Phase 1. Contribute nautical know-how. Some contribute ingenuity, others graft. What you contribute is hard-won, hands-on experience of the sea itself. Ooh, we need one more sea story. Interesting. Provide additional funding. Specifically, apply bribes that the philanthropist cannot be associated with. Donate a mysterious device. Therefore, heretofore, its purpose was mysterious, but the chief engineer insists it's precisely what they need. Donate Stygian ivory. It's dark as the belly of the sea, and, correctly treated, harder than iron. Contribute advanced theory. These idiots don't have the first idea what they're doing. Enlighten them. Retrieve a set of sonar schematics. The engineers have reached an impasse. It's the sonar. It's unreliable, loud, and stops working when below 70 fathoms. But the Admiralty and Canada must have cracked this back in the day. Interesting. But let us start by giving them one of our outlandish artifacts. Within the hour, they've stripped it down, flensed it for everything they can learn, and incorporated the discoveries into the modifications to your ship. Progress! The chief engineer claims. Now tea! Interesting. I don't know how much we need, so let's just add a second one, since we have to. Why not? The lessons of the past. Within the hour they've stripped it again, and again they drink a quite huge amount of tea. it seems that we have indeed finished phase 1. Great. The engineers brim with conspiracy theories about the old submarine programs. Before the agreement about nothing of consequence, London's Admiralty conducted their submarine research at Station 3. The location of the Carnot's research space is unknown, but a number of its scientists relocated to Khan's shadow. Perhaps one of these locations has information you could use. Interesting, interesting. And we've gained one secret, formidably indeed. I don't know where Station 3 lies, but we indeed know where the Carnav is located, so maybe we will take a little look-see there. But in the meantime, Port Cornelian still awaits. We will indeed do a lot here. We can decide whoever we want to talk to get our port report, and I really like tigers, so talk to the tiger. I already read this one, so I won't read it again. If you want to, you can pause the video. We can always pan for sapphires. It may be not all that well, but we can try. Sadly. A native ambush, perhaps ambush is a strong word, but there's a tiger sitting on broad mushroom cap, asking unflattering questions about your nutritional value. You retreat. And that's a really good idea. But we got one tail of terror and we have 11 right now. So, it's best we learn to do something with them. Maybe Wither has a use for those. Just maybe. But maybe it's good. I don't know how much terror I can reduce here. Let's try just once. Ooh, we lose 5 terror, that's a good deal. They import the doilies from London, but the tea is local, blue and smoky. The crumpets are warm, and tablecloths white. You could almost imagine you were back in Vile Garden. Except for the tiger lunging on a deviant. It leaps tea from an azure bowl and complains about the recent nostalgic trend in poetry. Well, seems rather sad. Let's look for a second at the sapphire exchange. Ooh, they want mushroom wine. Interesting, interesting. Maybe these can be of some use. The Dockside Mart sells for acceptable prices. At best not perfect, but it could be worse. Let's check something for a second. Oh, I think supplies were 20 back in fallen London, so let's buy some here, just for the efficiency of it. And let's drive upwards. We have not explored much here, but a further way up could maybe land us the location of a place called the Salt Lions. And those are, well, quite useful later on. Let's just put it that way and leave it at that. Ooh, deep swirls of vessels around us. Rayna's vortex and Welton's vortex have been discovered in front of Port Cornelian, like 2 bright eyes at Cornelian that smile. Let us search for more. Let us find out what is it that we're searching for. Wenn wir Station 3 finden, haben wir natürlich auch eine Chance, vielleicht Sonarteile zu finden, die uns helfen könnten, ne? Vielleicht aber auch nicht. The Promised Sea, all for this place, the song of drownies lies shivering sweet along the wind. Und ein Flugchor, den ich übersehen habe. Unsere Engines schwitzen sollte das geringste Problem sein, das wir haben. Das war am besten Willen nicht angenehm. Flugchors sind sehr gefährliche Gegner, wenn man sie unterschätzt. Ich kann weiterhin nur hoffen, dass unsere Engines trotz dieser Aktion gerade nicht überhitzen. The Fathom King's Hold, Lorcan's Port, named for that most enterprising of drownies. Its phosphor cells burn green, somewhere below, the king waits. Like an iceberg, like a bazaar's master's sheen, like the Neath itself, most of the hold is invisible. You see only a tiny portion of sculpted coral, the rest waits below the surface. The Fathom King's bone rooms, aquaria, his pearl snares and his dining chambers. What can we do? What can we do? trade for a white molly flower? It looks like a fish in water and a flower in the air. The drownies recommend owning one if you're going to their cousins at Deutsch. Interesting. Let's firstly compile a port report, and secondly, let's go down to the Fathom King. Speak to the porter. We already read this once, so let's don't do it. Watch a crocodile-masked visitor make an offering. A body lies on a bier in the center of the chamber. The crocodile-masked visitor moves around it, indicating wounds in its head, neck, chest, muttering. Ask a boon of the king. You have brought the king a story gift. You may ask a gift in return. It's impossible to know what you will receive. Let's just ask for a little something. Rosy flesh, sea bounty. The king intones, one from the water. Taste it in good health. He waves a gracious hand while his water is fresh. The audience is over. As you return, crab slaves carry ice boxes filled with sweet fresh meat. Pink is dawn. Dies hat uns vielleicht etwas Terror eingebracht, allerdings auch sehr, sehr, sehr billigen. Sehr billige Supplies. Deutsch und Englisch zu mixen ist nicht immer allzu einfach. Lasst uns weiterfahren, aber lasst uns nicht zu schnell donnern. Es gibt Dinge, vor denen müssen wir wesentlich mehr Angst haben. Auch vor den Drownies in der Gegend. Auch wenn die Fahrt nach oben langweilig scheint, sind wir bald aus der Nebelbank heraus. Und das sollte uns erlauben, problemlos weiterzufahren. London ist nicht mehr weit weg. Überhaupt nicht mehr weit weg. Also sollte es überraschend einfach sein, dort anzukommen. We've discovered the sisterhood. Interesting, interesting. That means with a bit of luck, Station 3 is nearby. Aurelian Megalops. Not a target of interest at the moment, at least. But it shall not stop us from just stopping by at Abbey Rock and looking out the window for a bit. Who knows, maybe we'll find something quite interesting, maybe even delicious. Just as delicious as my crew maybe gets one day. Abbey Rock, a black spit of an isle. Again, we already read this, so I won't do it again. But we will compile a port report. Nothing is happening. The sisters watch us. We feel their eyes. The sea crashes on the rocks, withdraws. The fortress stands stolted as the last year of a century. The greatest peril you risk here is a certain properness of prose. We could offer a gift, but we will not right now. Since we do not own a hunting trophy, we can watch the comment, wait a while and see. Dangerous training. Again, we read this. Nothing new, sadly. We have recent news. We will not use them here, since it's just of no use. So, let us drive on and search for more. Who knows? If we are lucky, maybe, just maybe, we find Station 3 around here. And maybe not at all. The chances are quite acceptable, but not too great. We discovered Wolf Rift, Field Haven, and the Shepherd's Isles. This means we indeed have a good chance of finding more than we maybe asked for. The Shepherd's Isles are a very interesting place. There are graves on this isle. Graves on the sea where no one truly dies. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds on the Shepherd Isles. Again, we read this, so we compile a port report and are happy with it. There's nothing worth buying around here, so we won't do it. But we will sail up here. Oh, I would love to kill this pirate, but my ship is not in working condition for a big fight. So let's just accept the fact that this pirate is going for it. It seems like... Why can't I target this pirate? Oh, now it works. Weirdly enough. We will try to keep our firing solution behind him, so he cannot fire at us, but we can fire at him. Ooh, this was a good shot. Our impressible cannoneer did his job well, and we sunk it. Loot and scuttler. Here's a vile old vessel, and these aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. A catch of curiosities. Open it up! Open it up! We've got 5 supplies. Again, somebody really wants us good fat on the way back home. But a chance to finding Station 3 up here get dimmer with every second, sadly. Let's hide our officers for the moment. We don't need them here. Station 3? Somewhere? Maybe? No. Does not seem like Station 3 wants us today. We had our chance, it seems. Some sort of beetle has invaded your morsel of ship's biscuit. It waggles its antenna impatiently. Well, it seems like we didn't have the best of chances at the moment. But at least we can go to the Mare Isle and get one findy crewman. Oh, no, wait a second, we can't. We don't even have a single echo at the moment. Curses. Well, it could be worse, let's face it. It could also be much better, let's face it. But I don't think it will be a big problem, and also, with a bit of luck, we'll find a certain person here that the blind bruiser wants us to take back home. So let's just take a little look and find out what exactly the fungers are up to. Iron and misery once more. Search for the last constable. Join the fungers at the dinner table. Listen to their talk. Could the constable be among them? That we failed. You join the fungers at the tables, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The same faces turn up every time without fail to hear about your sea adventures. One weepy funger presses his hands into yours and fights for his composure. Thank you. You're the only thing that eases the monotony, he says. The others swallow their fungers reluctantly and nod. Well, it seems she's not on the Mare Isle, sadly. We cannot accept the moment here, but we can have a bit of tea with the factor. You sit at the veranda of the factor's house, looking out over the fungal jungle, an expanse of green and sour gold. The air is thick with hovering spores, the scones are stale, even the tea has a hint of mildew. But the factor is good company. He shares odd stories about the ice and roses of Irem, the monstrosities of the sea of lilies, and the little restaurant in Vanderbride, where I enjoyed the most extraordinary seafood. Vanderbride, I know. I'd never met a tomb colonist who could cook, but you must visit the place. Do you know it? He also has a load of bulgus front carted aboard your ship. He waves away your thanks. I have eaten so much of the stuff I fear I might be transformed entirely into fungus. He leaves confidently towards you. It happens, you know. But one does have to eat a rather lot of it first. We've got one supply. You've been told of an exceptional fine restaurant in Vanderbride, and we got 7 fragments. And we lost a little bit of our terror. So, without further ado, let's sail! We did not find the salt lions, so I will indeed sail a bit on. We have enough fuel, so this should not be a problem. And even if we run out of fuel, we still have enough supplies to keep burning. And if that also dries out, we don't have to eat. We can also just eat other specialer things that we have available. Nobody said it would be nice joining my crew, but everybody just assumed it would be. Everybody said, let's go on an adventure. Let's travel the seas. Let's have a lot of fun. But no. No, this is definitely not how it will be. Sadly, for everyone. I drive a different road. All I want to see is if the salt lions are up here, since the salt lions are a place I truly want to meet. We discovered Messie's shaft, so it seems like up here would be Gator's Morn. I'm really unsure where the salt lions are located on this run. Usually they are around here, but this time we have Gator's Morn here, as far as I can tell. So I'm rather, well, irritated, to say the least. Again, restless nights. No, you don't have the right to dream bad. I'm the only one who is allowed to dream bad, since I can work with it. Always just weaklings. Well, maybe it's up top, but I really don't think so. I don't remotely understand where the salt mines are located on this one. Well, at least Gator's Morn is a rather safe place compared with some other places. So, let's just compile a little port report here, maybe lose one of our crew members if it comes high and nigh, and look for a certain person again. As far as I heard, they were around this place, weren't they? So who knows, if they're not at the funking station, maybe, just maybe, they're around here. It's not the safest place to be, for sure, but it's also at all not the worst place to be. Guide us Morn. The Morn is a stalagmite vast as a crack. And again, we will just search the trail, search for the lost constable. Too many questions and you'll seem suspicious, or a tourist. Too few and you seem either meek or snobbish. You make what inquires you most. When it's plain the last constable isn't here, you depart. Check your journal to be reminded of where the last constable might be. I remember him saying Venderbride, so I think Venderbride could be a good chance. But first, look at Gator's Morn, and we can drop off the August traveler writer. Here's your payment. I'll be back by the evening bell. We'll discuss my next destination then. The travel writer sets across the planks with good speed, his briefcase in hand. It seems heavy, although he claimed it held only documents and writing equipment for an interview with the Pirate King. The day passes relatively peaceful. There are brawls, but in good fun. The blood washed away with celebratory beer. By night, the boisterous cheer has given way to whispers about an uncommonly brutal murder executed within an experimental shipyard. They say you couldn't enter the yard without stepping in the victim. The travel writer returns. He greets you with a curt nod as he boards your ship. The august travel writer flips through his notebook, while on your deck. Awful thing, that murder. Commonplace here, I suppose. Fortunately, my interview was illuminating and my business on the Morn is complete. We can depart. I've another port to visit, if you'd care for another 150 echoes. 150 echoes, you say? Well, why not? Splendid! The travel writer snaps his journal shut like a trap. The Comanian Canal next, I think. What a nice little guy, isn't he? He seems to be a really nice person. We could try to get our intelligence, but we will most likely lose one of our crew. Maybe even two. It's not even a coin flip, it's worse than a coin flip, but we'll go for it. We failed, we lost one crew, we gained some terror, but we have a port report. And a port report is quite usable. We can explore the Morn. I'm afraid something terrible will happen, but let's just go for it. We explore the Morn. There's surprising quantity of actual landscape. Again, we read all of this, so if you want to read it, just pause. The view from above. A high place. The Z-like rippled sheet of night green jade. The roof beneath above, bellied with stalactites and prickled with false stars. Look out across the water. What are you thinking of? Prayer to the god called Salt. Prayer to the god called Storm. Prayer to the god called Stone. You know the words to speak, and here its eyes are on you. So, we could pray to a lot. Stone, dropping us off. Storm, maybe hitting us. Salt, rather unpredictable. Let's pray to Salt, god that I prefer. Look east, where the Z and the roof are one in the mist. Your gaze unlocks the horizons like a puzzle box. The neve is reconfigurating and transfigurating. It lasts a single heartbeat. We've gained 2 pages and 2 mirrors, so this is actually quite useful. Another afternoon out Lampert. We can't do this at the moment, sadly, since we do not have something awaits you, so the people will be not all too happy to see us. We have nothing that they want to buy at this moment, so it's not worth doing that either. So let's just sail a little bit up, Maybe Codex, maybe Wither, and then hit up Vanderbright. Or maybe sail directly to Vanderbright. I'm unsure at the moment. Our fuel is not too high, so I think we'll sail to Vanderbright, and from Vanderbright we will sail down directly again. Since he wants to go to the Communion Canal, I think this is doable. It should be a not too complicated drive. Ooh, another pirate again! Seems like someone wants to fight. They're always picking the wrong targets in this neighborhood. Sadly, sadly. This fighting is not the most atrocious, and since this is a little bit of a bigger ship, I'm actually rather scared of it. It could deal enough damage to sink us rather quickly. But this should not be a problem, since it seems to be really enjoying this lamppost. Who knows? Maybe we have the firing solution before them. Come on. Only 2 more shots, and then they will be down to this neef. 1 more. Do not fire upon me. And he did not. We can loot and scuttle here, take another catch of curiosities, find I was in, and again, for supplies. Really, the Neve does only want one thing, getting me well fed and home. At least it seems so. Let's hope that's not her main goal. If the sea only wants me fed, who knows? Maybe it only wants me to be a bit riper than usual, so I taste better. I personally do hope for a little bit of another explanation. For instance, maybe just having a very, very, very good time. Since I'm such a nice person and I'm helping the Neve, getting what she wants by sinking the ships of those that sail her without a proper amount of, well, let's say respect. The Neve is a beauty. A large and endless beauty, and not treating her with respect could end, well, let's just say my predecessor knows. The tomb colony of Vanderbright. Search for the last constable. Let's find her finally. You are not alone. Some tomb colonists, longing for peace, clamp into coffins and swear never to stir. The storehouse is a fox mausoleum. You watch furtive, bandaged figures slip inside. Peering through the half-rotten timber, you see them prise open the coffins laid within and rob the pretended dead of their jewels and silks. That is, at last, until they gather around a black coffin, festooned with ribbons. "Core, look at that little treasure there on her finger," says one. "Come here, you!" A truncheon swings out of the coffin, cracking his crown. The other 2 scatter as a woman leaps out of the black coffin, like a sleeper from a nightmare, and chases them down. This must be the constable. Odd, you don't look like the kind my father usually employs. Her father. Her knuckles will whiten around her truncheon. The cheery man. Are you here to kill me? Agree to take a message. If you can't take her, perhaps you can take a message instead. Convince her to return, or try to, at last. She doesn't seem irresistant to her union with her father. I'm warning you now, stand down. We have a acceptable chance with iron, but I won't take it. We can try to convince her. I hope nothing goes bad. And if she doesn't want to, we can hopefully still take a message. She stares at your feet as you speak. He'll send another for her, you argue. If she doesn't return now, he'll try again. Perhaps with someone more violently inclined. Next time. She raises a hand. Perhaps he will. He's done so before. But you're right. It's time for me to return. It's time to settle matters between us, one way or another. Show me to your ship. You've completed your assignment. He does not tolerate fools or failure. That went better than expected. This went a lot better than expected. A weak call for help. Ooh. Sadly, we still do not have a submarine, so no use. Visit a certain little restaurant. Some we heard of. A corkscrewed street. At the twisted tip of an old little side street, welcoming yellow light glows from the glittered windows of a restaurant. A sign reads, "Vigilance of Journal." I hope. Maybe it's not that, but maybe. A beefy tomb colonist bustles up. A grey mustache pokes intrepidly out from under its bandages. Come in! Come in! It's a cramped little place, but much better lit than most places in the tomb colonies. The scent of the dishes are multitudinous and extraordinary. Are they good? They might be. They might be good. It's difficult to tell. We could recruit him, but we do not even remotely have enough echoes, sadly. But we could sample today's special. It costs 60 echoes to do so, but who knows? This is usually a more efficient way of reducing terror than purchasing a dusty glass of wine, and it will also reduce your hunger. So let's just throw them in. Why not? Our terror is high enough. We've lost 5 terror, we lost hunger. The British prisoner owner of the Vigilance of Giona has identified 7 flavors which are pleasant, 7 which are unpleasant, and 7 which are neither. The flavors of this meal are chiefly of the first kind. How practical! I enjoy not being deaf-butted with taste. Let's gather some gossip, just over port report, and again, let's explore Vanderbride a bit. An attack! You round a darkened corner and start down a broad boulevard lined with grinning stages. There's a flooded movement above, and a cloud of frost moths walking sticks. A cloud of frost moths swoop down upon you. You beat them off with your walking stick. They're determined, and the largest are the size of sea-bats, but they are fragile. At last they retreat, leaving 3 of their number melting onto water of the pavement. Their wings are marked with patterns that resemble letters. You peer at them, but the script is already dissolving. But we gained 5 fragments, so it was not useless at last. Let's look again. We could take the last tour operator, but we will not. Not at all. We do not have the place for those. So, let's just look up if we can sell something, but I don't think so. We could sell a vision of the surface, but this is not the moment where to sell those. And we do not have any tomb colonists to sell, so I think it's time to sail down to London. But we will not sail right now. We will sail the next time. We will sail in the next Video. Also, wenn wir uns beim nächsten Mal wiedersehen, dann vielleicht ein bisschen anders. Mit ein bisschen Glück sehen wir uns dann bald in London, wenn wir zusammen auf den Straßen wandeln. Aber bis dahin wünsche ich euch einen wunderschönen, sonnenlosen Tag in den Tiefen der Untersee. Und kann nur noch eines sagen, und zwar Bye Bye.